Hi, everybody. Welcome into Sports Talk Chicago. My name's Jon Zaghloul. Great to have you here on Channel 59.3 BPOD TV and Roku. Big show for today. We're going to preview the Bears-Vikings Monday Night Football matchup and hint the Bears might have a chance to win. Talk about it in just a moment. Before we get started, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports and on Facebook at Jon Zaghloul. If you want to watch more of this show, search up Sports Talk Chicago on YouTube or go to sportstalkchicago.com. And if you want to watch more shows from the BPOD TV network, search up BPOD TV on YouTube. I want to start today with some breaking news. The Bears have a chance to win this weekend. I think that's breaking news. When's the last time we expected a Bears winner, even thought about it? I mean, last week, we all justified watching the Packers game for Justin Fields. Hey, maybe he'll develop. Maybe there's a slight chance the Bears will pull off an upset. And for the first half, it looked like it, but obviously it didn't work. But this weekend, there's a chance to win. Not that it matters. Bears are done when it comes to the playoffs. And every win only cements Matt Nagy. Maybe could keep him around, same with Ryan Pace. So I'm not advocating for a win here. But if we're talking on paper, we're talking about both these teams, how they add up, how they match up. Yeah, the Bears have a chance to win. A good one, too. Based in Minnesota, 6-7. Minnesota at home. That's the key. Bears are going to be at home. They're facing a Minnesota team who just beat Pittsburgh, but lost to Detroit 2 weeks ago. That shouldn't mean much. I mean, the Bears barely beat Detroit on Thanksgiving. That was a horrible game. But both teams played them close. The Bears won, Vikings lost. And even last week, the Vikings beat Pittsburgh by one possession. Bears lost by one possession. These are two even teams, despite the record differences. And I really feel like, I could be wrong, but I really feel like Justin Fields is going to have a big game here. I'm expecting it. I'm expecting 300 passing yards. I'm expecting maybe 50 to 100 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Seriously. Regardless of the offensive line. On his home turf, prime time, did well last time on Monday Night Football. He could do it again. I don't want to say he has to do it again, but he should do it again. I'd be disappointed if he did nothing, Justin Fields. Now, there's been a lot of talk this week about is he the franchise guy now? We're already talking about Justin Fields not being the guy. Pretty funny, because the last time I checked, if you question the narrative, you're going to be in trouble. I just want to say from day one, I said not to rush him. And many of you thought, well, that means, Jon, you're skeptical. You don't trust him. You think he's a bust. Never said any of those things. I said don't rush him. I said he's not ready. And sure enough, he isn't. Doesn't help him, though, that he has no O-line, bad coaching. So somebody give out a really rational answer to the question. It's incomplete. We don't know, really, if Justin Fields is going to be a franchise quarterback. We need to see a real coach. Real play calling. Real scheming. Better team. It's unfair to say right now, oh yeah, I know he's going to be a buster. Oh yeah, he's a superstar. We don't know. That said, this game, I think, could be a great chance for him to show off his skills. Think about it. 4-9 Bears, not going anywhere. Matt Nagy's on the hot seat. Ryan Pace is too. Monday Night Football, Vikings, 6-7, kind of wayward as a team. I really think it could be a good game for him. Good matchup. Their defense isn't the best either. 25th in football in points given up a game. How do you think they'll do against a dual-threat quarterback? Who's a rookie, too. I really think this is a good matchup. No one's really going to talk about it too much. I know everybody's focused on Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace. So am I. go watch a couple of my videos from this week already, but I think for Justin Fields, this is going to be quietly, potentially, a good game for him. And I really see him balling out on Monday Night Football. I totally see it. I think it's going to be a really well-played game, and I do believe the Bears might pull it off. I could see it. They actually use the offense right, they'll be fine. You know, last weekend, they never ran the football. Where is David Montgomery? Not even being used. You commit to the run game and run the ball 20, 25 times, like Justin Fields thrown about 30, I think you're going to win the game. Throw them off with play actions. Have Montgomery run for 100. Have Fields run if he wants to, then throw the ball. I really think it's an attainable win. Let's put it that way. I think this game will show us just how incompetent the Bears are because the Vikings aren't that good. They're 6-7. They're going to be on the road. Their season's sputtering. They need this win for their playoff hopes, but the consensus there is that Mike Zimmer is going to be gone. They lost to Detroit, to Jared Goff. Things aren't that great in Minnesota. The way the Bears play this game, I think will show us just how incompetent they are. How bad are things really? How incompetent really is this Bears team? Sure, we could talk about their struggles against playoff teams, good teams. I mean, yes, you're not going to see them beat the Packers or Aaron Rodgers. No way. Defense won't contain them, and the Bears can't stop them. I get it. But when we're talking about Kirk Cousins, the Vikings at 6-7, team that just lost to Detroit. If you get blown out, or if you flat out lose, I think it really shows the incompetence at Hallis Hall. Really shows it off. Puts it on a magnifying glass. And I think that's going to be the whole theme of the game. If I were you and I'm at home watching this, you could root for Justin Fields, root for the Bears to lose because of Matt Nagy or Ryan Pace, or just root for a plain old win. But the main takeaway should be this. The Vikings are not the best team. The Bears have faced pretty damn good teams recently. Now they're facing a team right down to their level. How do they play? How incompetent, truly, is the franchise? You're not going to beat Green Bay. You're not going to beat these upper echelon teams, Arizona. But what about a team right down to your level? The Vikings, 6-7, losing to Detroit. Potential head coach being fired. How do you play in that situation? Are you going to still be stagnant? Is your defense going to regress? Is Justin Fields going to play poorly? Will the offensive line protect it? Will the play calling be good or not? This is really a test. I don't mean for Matt Nagy's job or to keep guys around. I just mean in general, for this team, for the Bears, to gauge who they are this season. It's a great test. Let's see them play against someone at their level. Let's see how they do. Can they execute a game plan? Can they win the game? Plain and simple. If they don't win, yeah, this team's pretty incompetent. If they do win, though, or if they play somewhat competitively, it does show that there is something here. That doesn't mean keep Matt Nagy. I'm talking about players overall. It shows that there might be something here. Because right now as we speak, I fear for this roster. Fear for this team. Aging defense. Bad O-line. Bad play calling. Not utilizing guys to their strengths. And Justin Fields developing. And I feel bad for Fields. We talked about this week. Guy leads the league in fumbles. Bad passer rating. He's got nothing. And he's the one who has to go out there and get beat up and suffer. I don't find that right. That's why I said for him to wait. But regardless, It's not a good team. We could blame Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace, of course, and they should be fired. But the team itself, the personnel, they're going to be here next year, some of them. I want to see what we know about this roster. And Monday is going to prove something to me. I don't know about you, but to me, that's what I'm going to be watching. Win or loss, doesn't really matter. Although I'd like a win. I think they could win. I want to see, does this team have fight? And is there enough talent here to salvage a decent roster for next year? And who is this team? Are they really that incompetent, or are they victims of a bad schedule? I think I know the answer already. You guys probably do too. But here's a chance to prove it, really. This isn't the Lions. This is a team right about at your level. I get it, the Vikings are 6-7 in contention for the last playoff spot, but regardless, they lost to the Lions. They've been up and down all year. Their head coach is about to be fired. Kirk Cousins could be out the door. They have a rookie quarterback right behind him, Kellen Mond. It's a pretty similar situation. That's why I want to see what happens. Bears are going to have real trouble containing Dalvin Cook. Cook at 978 yards already, nearly 5 per carry. And Alexander Madison, too, his backup. Vikings are run-first team, but Kirk Cousins, to his credit, has not played poorly this year, statistically. 27 touchdowns, 5 picks, 3,600 yards, and a passer rating of 103.5. That's great. I understand he may not size up in the big moments, but statistically, that's good. Meaning, he's going to put up points. Even if the Bears somehow win, don't just sit there and expect Kirk Cousins to do absolutely nothing. Does not turn the ball over, throws for a lot of yards, throws for touchdowns. I mean, at this rate, he's probably going to be around 4,500 yards and maybe even 40 touchdowns before the year ends. Not a bad quarterback. Maybe can't size up in the big moment, but overall, plays well. My point being, you can't just sit there and expect him to turn over and do nothing. He is going to play. The Vikings have something to play for, too. They're probably expecting this to be an easy win, and it should be. I do believe, though, that things go right if Justin Fields plays well. If the Bears commit to the run, they're at home. And it is Kirk Cousins. I really believe this could be a win. And that'd be great. That's what I want, actually. I really do. Not for anybody's sake, especially not for Matt Nagy or Ryan Pace, but I just want to make sure this team's competent, you know? I want to make sure that at least we all know the roster might be okay for next year. Maybe not the coaching, maybe not the GM, front office, but we know that some pieces of this roster are worth keeping. Like Justin Fields. David Montgomery. I want to see how these guys do. That's all. I know they're worth keeping, but I'm talking about just overall. I want to see a big game offensively. There's no reason why you can't do it. You're facing one of the worst defenses in football. They're 25th in the NFL in points per game allowed. We've yet to see a signature game from Justin Fields. I believe this is the opportunity for it to happen. Prime time against the Vikings team that has something to play for. This could be a nice morale-boosting win for the rest of the year. And it could reassure everybody that at least there's something for next year. We don't know who the coach is going to be. We don't know who the GM is going to be, team president. We have no clue. But we do know that there might be a quarterback. There might be something to hang your hat on if you're the Bears. And that's not me saying Justin Fields isn't right or is a bust. But as I said, I believe the answer is incomplete. When you're asked, is Justin Fields a franchise quarterback? Incomplete. That doesn't mean no or yes. It means I want to see a competent coach and a competent O-line with him. Then we could talk about is he right or is he wrong. If Justin Fields has mechanical issues or can't make plays and he has everything around him, then we know, obviously. Right now, it's incomplete. Yes, he has some mechanical issues, but look what he's facing. He gets 1 second to throw the damn football. Not his fault. And the same happened before. Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles, everybody's faced the same fate with the Bears. Bad O-line, horrible play calling. And you wonder why nobody's worked. Now they're doing the same thing to Justin Fields, and I feel horrible for the kid. I really do. I'm just happy at least he won't be booted. You know, Mitch Trubisky was booted, right? Say what you want about Mitch. The point is he was kicked out, and Matt Nagy got to stay. Now, hope it's the opposite, and it will be the opposite. So, Monday night's going to be kind of important. And I feel that way. I feel like some meaningless game. Bears are out of it. Who cares? Again, if I were you and you're watching, pay attention to how Justin Fields plays. Pay attention to this roster and how the Bears put up points and what they do. I want to know what the Bears have for next year. This is a winnable game. It shouldn't be too difficult. I want to know what fight the Bears have and what they could bring into next season. Right now, I don't see too much. And I'm even unsure about Justin Fields in regards to the team around him. I'm worried, because if this persists next year, if they have this same old line, and if somehow Matt Nagy stays, my goodness, good luck. Any quarterback, but especially Fields, a rookie. That's my point. You're facing a bad defense, prime time, got nothing to lose. Let's see what Fields does. Because I do believe the Bears will win. They can win, too. And if they don't, it's a pretty big disappointment. I'm fine if they even play competitively. Although, ideally, I want to see a win here. But even if they play the Vikings toe-to-toe, that's fine. Want to blame the defense? If the Bears give up 40 points again, lose by 1 touchdown, I'll blame the defense. But I want to see something from Justin Fields. I want to see something from this team. I want to know who's salvageable come next year. Who's worth keeping? Is there anything? Are there any assets to keep or worry about? It's important to think about that. Not always about the win or the loss, or even Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace. The whole point of this year was developing Justin Fields. So I hope on Monday we see more progress in the right direction. Thanks for watching today's show here at BPOD TV, channel 59.3 in Roku. Really appreciate the time. Remember, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports and on Facebook at Jon Zaghloul. If you want to watch more shows, search up Sports Talk Chicago on YouTube or go to sportstalkchicago.com. Lots of great content coming your way this week and the next one. Make sure you tune in every night at 10:30 right here on BPOD TV. So long, everyone.